Ben, what a day it's been so far. We can see just behind you, Richard Riakporhe, he's working out. March 26th, it's coming closer. Before we get into talking about that, let's talk about some of the controversies that have been happening in boxing recently. Now, the British Boxing Board of Control, they've took action after that Taylor Catterall scoring controversy. Are you satisfied with the outcome of that?
I don't think it's the end of it. I hope it's not. I hope this is the start of looking at the judging system in itself and how transparent it might be able to become. And, for me, it's no way near enough. I think, luckily, Robert said he's open to ideas, and we're working extremely hard with Sky on putting together a proposal that will include technology, that will include open scoring, that will include maybe using editing suites and using everything that we have available. Sometimes I do feel sorry for the judges. If you've got three of them, same angle, sat ringside with all the noise of the fight, I think it's about minimising wrong decisions, and we're working on it really hard. I'm really hoping that after all the attention on this, the board will be committed to looking at it, and we're going to do as much as we can to help them and put something forward. But still seeing decisions that are wide. Sandy Ryan on the weekend was strange. And then Mark Leach, I know Carl Frampton had a lot to say about the scorecards on Friday night. So I think there's still so much to be done in terms of understanding, in terms of improving how fights are judged. So we'll see. We'll see.
Do you think this is where the change will come after those decisions, the ones we've seen recently? It's almost as if they have to listen now when people are talking about it. When you're being so outspoken, it's hard to not have that conversation.
Boxing is so big now. You have three broadcasters in the UK going at it hard. You've got Fury, White selling out Wembley, and now them refusing to have British judges. I think that shows there's a problem here. I don't think it's just Britain, I think globally. And I think the judging system and the judging scoring has to be looked at. There's not enough instruction in the British Boxing Board of Control rules. There's not enough understanding amongst fans. There's not even enough understanding amongst the industry. And it has to be looked at now. I'm hoping this is a momentum. We're going to not stop banging the drum, but we're also going to be constructive now. We've seen the decision of the British Boxing Board of Control, and we're going away, and I'm working so hard with Adam Smith, and I'm working on things and talking to different stakeholders about what we could put forward and how hopefully the sport can move on from this. Jack Catterall will never get that night back, and I want to make this not about Josh Taylor and not about Jack Catterall. Now this is about judging within boxing and what can be done to minimise mistakes or minimise room for any sort of untoward thing that might go on or might not go on in the sport, and it's been going on for a long time. So fingers crossed this is the start of the change.
Now let's focus on more positive times then. It's been a great few months for British boxing. Obviously Kell Brook, Amir Khan. Have you got an update for us around that situation, especially around Amir Khan? Could we see him activate that rematch clause?
I think he's thinking about it. He's still got another couple of weeks, but what I do know is he will fight again. I'm pretty sure that that's what he wants to do. It's not as me for a promoter to tell a fighter when he should retire. He knows what went on in that ring. He knows what the lead-up was. Whether he fights on with myself or who he fights, I don't know. But I'm convinced Amir will fight on, or at least that's what I'm hearing. But in terms of rematch, I think the Brook-Khan rematch shouldn't happen, and I don't think it makes sense. But Amir's his own man. He'll do what he thinks is right for his career. He's a legend of the sport. Who am I to say what he should do? And obviously, we'll wish him luck with whatever he does, and if he needs us, we'll be there to help.
And Kell Brook, he's assessing his options. Who's the current front runner of that shortlist then for him?
It's hard to know. I think the current front runner is Retire. I think he had such a good performance, and he's going out on such a high. And he says it was the best night of his career. He waited for that chance so long against Amir Khan. He got it. He performed. He looked $1 million, and I think that's a front runner. But when you look that good, and when your trainer thinks you can go on as well, I think Dominic feels like he can still go. That means you're going to get options, and so whether it's Eubank Jr., whether it's Conor Benn, whether it's Thurman, whether it's Garcia, whether it's even Josh Taylor, that might be an option. I don't know, but he's got fighters running to fight him now. He's a star. He's just sold out a huge event against Amir Khan, amazing numbers on pay-per-view. But I think he's still considering it. I think he is having a bit of time off, and then he'll probably look at it the next week or two and decide whether he does hang up the gloves or he throws the dice and does another one or two. I don't know.
Let's see what happens with that one. Let's look ahead though. March 26th, the OVO Arena, Wembley.
Yes.
What a night this could be.
Yes.
What a night I think it will be. Both fighters are currently in the room. Richard's talking to the live stream, and then Dion, he's already been in the ring. He's walking around. These two going head to head. This is something that I think a lot of people want to see.
It is. I mean, there's a lot more on the line for us as a promoter and everything. Richard was meant to fight Fabio Turchi. He's on his route to world titles. We think he's gonna fight for a world title in the next 12 months. And then when Kell Brook had to pull out, he was meant to fight Dion Juma for the British Cruiserweight title. It meant there was only one option, and Richard's been man enough to come in here and take on a guy that people have avoided for years. And he's a southpaw. He's tricky. A lot of people in boxing really rate him highly, and this is a sort of, I've read to say it's almost a lose-lose for Richard, and that's why I respect him so much for taking it, because people expect him to deal with it, but at the same time this is an extremely tough fight. But I think this will do wonders for his popularity, wonders for his ticket selling, wonders for his numbers. But he's got to get through this, you know. If he wants those world title nights that we think we will deliver for him in the next 12 months, this is the fight that he needs to come through. And since it's been announced, the interest in the fight night has gone to another level. And Dan Aziz as well is on the card. He's fighting Matthew Tinker, who's another unbeaten guy who actually beat him in the amateurs. So you've almost got bordering on 50-50 fights, British guys going at it with world title ambitions, particularly Richard and Dan. And it's an exciting night. It's going to be a nervous night.
That's why we love nights like that, though, because there is so much at stake. It could all go wrong, it could all go right. We'll only find out at the night. But talking about those world title fight hopes, who do you think he could be a target for Richard? Who's he looking at?
Well, you've got Guillemarian, you've got Riyad Murhi, you've got obviously Lawrence and Bradis, but we expect it to open up, and we're working very hard with the governing bodies. They really like Richard. He's well rated in WBC. He was supposed to be now, after Turchi, number 2 in the IBF rankings, but he'll get his world title chance. I think the ultimate goal would be a unification British world title fight against Lawrence Okoli. I think that's the one he really wants, and that's the one he's working towards. But first and foremost, he's focused on getting his world title, and we believe, as I say, we will deliver that. But he's got a big test.
How difficult is that when he's got such big plans? You've got such big plans as well, but you've got to focus on March 26th. You can't get ahead of yourself, and that must be frustrating because you want to take over the world, surely.
Yeah, with Richard, he's almost had to fast-track his career. He turned pro very late. He's had to blast his way through British opponents, whether it's Sam Hyde, Tommy McCarthy, Chris Billings-Smith, and now he's got to take on another one, and this is at a different stage of his career where he is getting towards world titles, and yeah, he can't afford a slip up here, and he'll be focused. And we're completely behind Richard Riakporhe. We admire him. He's done it. He's had such a hard life, and how he's got to this stage, and now he's got a huge test. But as I say, I think this is going to do wonders for his profile, and maybe this is a fight he needed to break out into that superstar role. And yeah, I'm excited. Obviously, as you said, we don't want to get ahead of ourselves, and hopefully he can do the job next week.
Definitely. And one more question, one more name I want to throw out there. Hughie Fury is reportedly set to return. Any comment on that? Could we see anything with that?
Yeah, he wants a big fight. He wanted Chisora. I don't think that fight's going to happen now. He's looking at Hellenius. We're looking at Michael Hunter. There's big fights out there for Hughie. He's only 27 years old. He's almost looking that fight that will just take him in, that big win. I think he needs that big win against a big name on Sky that will take him into contention. So that should be announced in the next few days. Excited for Hughie, and hopefully he can get his career on track, and we can start to look at the really big fights.
Brilliant. Well, all focus is on March 26th. We can see the two fighters in the ring right now at this media event. It's set to be a huge night as these two go head to head. Richard Riakporhe taking on Dion Juma.